Hi, everyone. My name is Maddie Wilkinson. I am in Boston, Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Eitan Lerner, and I'm located in Winnipeg, Canada.
Hi, I'm Andrea Hennen. I'm located in Germany.
And the three of us are really excited to be working together. We are colleagues and friends and have been talking and finding ways to share about this work. And we're going to share some stories today that we think might be useful and interesting for you. So over to Eitan.
Yeah, and you know, guys, how is it that usually when something is disturbing you regarding yourself or maybe your child, how you get into this narrow tunnel vision, the day-to-day life, which understandably happening, is that you cannot think about what's the next step, what's the logical step to take. And then what we want to suggest maybe through our stories is to step away and just create a space between you and your child. So that will serve also for a spacious feeling for yourself. You'll be able to see how you react and to see your child. Sometimes you can see them for the first time, and we can tell stories about ourselves and the parents we're working with as practitioners about how this small but really significant change about taking a step and creating a space can make a great difference. So maybe Maddie, do you want to start? Maybe you want to share something?
Okay, cool. Thanks, Eitan. I was working with a little girl who had a brain injury at birth, and I was working with her mom over Zoom, and they were in this playroom, and the little girl had kind of moved, had kind of scooted she had rolled on the carpet away from her mom. And her mom is loving and really energized and wants to help her daughter and was trying to get her to come. She was like, come over here, come over here. But the girl can't crawl. So she was trying to encourage her to crawl. And I said to the mom, like, how about we just slow this down? And I see the goal of wanting her to crawl. It's a beautiful thing to want for your daughter. And how about we slow it down and we just pay attention to what she's doing? And so what she started to do with my coaching was just reflecting what the girl was doing. So the girl was kind of on her back and she rolled towards her mom a little bit to face her a little bit. And she said, oh, that's closer. You're closer to me now. And then the girl would roll to her back and she said, and I'd say, tell her that's farther. So she's like, oh, you're farther away now. And she just started mirroring what the girl was doing, what she was actually doing. And it took this kind of pressure off, this sort of acceleration away from the mom trying to make something happen, and allowed the little girl to get the feedback of what she was actually doing. And then later on, she was sitting on the mom's lap, and she went to stand leaning on like a cushion, like a kind of a stool in front of her. She stood up, and the mom held her knees to keep her from falling. Because the little girl can't stand independently, but she was trying. And I suggested to the mom, like, maybe just like feel how you're supporting her knees, just put your hand on her pelvis and just think about that feeling of just mirroring what she's doing. So you're not trying to do anything. You're just saying, here you are, I'm with you, and this is you. And so the mom was holding the girl's pelvis and she started to massage her back. And I was like, just, okay, now the massaging, like, let it go. Just be with her. Just say in your touch, just like you were doing when she was away from you, this is you, here you are. And the little girl, mom got quiet, she slowed down. And the little girl started bending her knees and going down and then coming up. And it just turned into this really beautiful exploration with a quality that was different. So I thought it was a cool story about slowing down and mirroring.
And creating, yeah, it's a great story, I think, and creating a space by which you can slow down and mirror and actually describe And it's actually, we're talking about movement with attention. It's awesome because, you know, the parents gets to see the child and to see the possibilities. And then the possibility starts, right? And the possibility starts being like more and more possible. So yeah, it's great. Thank you.
And the child had, for the first time, a feeling that actually she is doing something, and when you comment it and mirror it, like oh, that's me. So that she knows about doing and being seen, and that she can actually do something that is being noticed, and she notices it back. So that is a very important moment to discover that it was her doing this, creating this movement.
Right, right. And for the parents to understand that something in between them, the spaciousness and the ability to see themselves, the child as a one, as an artist saying it, as a one brain, right?
Yeah.
I have a story. It's a story from back when I was working in Israel. A few years back, I had 3 families coming from Russia for like 20 days, I think, or something. I don't remember. But they came for a period of time. All of the kids were with CP. Training each day to through Dolman de la Cata, how do you call this? I don't remember the name of it, but Dolman. Other methods to crawl each day and to do this. And this specific kid was a sweet kid. It was a 4-year-old. He was seated. He was seated by his mom on my table, and then he cannot move. And it was obvious that he's not walking, even though they were walking him with a walker, and he, of course, they didn't want to. And the mom wanted me to help him walk. So I approached him for the first time I approached him, the first session. I just realized that when I just make a move in the room, not even toward him, he is startled, starts crying. So I tried various way, and then I realized it's actually any sudden movement doesn't even have to be quick. He is startled, and then he's falling or about to fall and cries. And then I realized, okay, this is, you know, I don't want to think about walking and standing. First of all, this reflex, and this it doesn't allow him to feel himself safe enough. So I started intuitively, I started slowing down and making something out of it, like looking at the space between us, like 3 meters or something, as this is the thing that where everything is going to happen, because you know, I'm not going to touch him now. And then I started saying slowly, I am going to go through your, I'm going to the left maybe. And then I slow it down, and I froze halfway in different places because I was all the time watching his facial expressions. And he's like, he was, oh, will he come? I think that's what was going on in his head. Will he come now? So he would, and as soon as I could see that he's getting more scared, I stopped and froze and said, then moved in a different way, even slower. And by the end of this, I think maybe the third day, he was cracking up by us working on falling and breaking the balls and, you know, balance on the table, right? He wasn't afraid anymore. And by the end of those, I think 3 weeks later, I got a video from them. He's pushing to walk. He wants to walk every day. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He's so enthusiastic, and he has changed tremendously. And also the parents understood something. They were talking about it. How this is so important. You know, they wanted me to change him. And then just by connecting to what's really happening, they understood that maybe this is something they can take with them. And this is, I think, something that I would like to share with families or other people. We don't need to come up with solutions. If it's just simple thing, but just creating a space, slowing down, mirroring, like you said, or whatever we use, can come up when we really see ourselves and the child as a space where the possibilities can occur.
I love the space is kind of metaphorical, but in that story, it's actually very
Mm.
concrete. Like you were
Yeah,
working with the actual space between you in creating variety and interesting and safe experiences of unfamiliar and new ways of being in relationship. So I think that's a great story.
true. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, this his habits and his expectations were not met. So, like you changed his actually his view of the world. He only had that for such a short time since he was so young, but it was already engraved already in his expectations. And then
Totally.
once
Yeah,
you broke that, he had space to react in a different way. So wonderful.
thank you.
Yeah. So I'm sharing my story, which is from a family that I worked with for the first time in Paris. And there it was like, sometimes it's really refreshing that people don't have too much expectations on the children, but also
Mhm.
that can be kind of like a break for actual development. And in that case, it was like, we don't know, the child was undiagnosed, 5 years old, a sweet little girl. It's like she could crawl, she couldn't walk, but she could crawl and get cruise along the room on all fours. She was a great crawler, but kind of like she was kind of left alone because we don't know what she has. We don't know if she's not on the spectrum. She seems to be autistic on top of everything, and developmental delay. We don't know if she sees. We don't know if she sees colors. We don't know if she hears, if she listens. And so it was kind of like, um, for me, it was interesting to find out what actually she can do. And so I tried to reach her, and of course I have a different accent. I speak French, but with a certainly German accent, so maybe very different than the one she was used. So I got some attention from her, and so she started sometimes just peeking at the lensing at the screen, and then turn away again, and then I asked her a few things, what she likes to play, what she likes to do, and her mother kept answering for her. So yeah, well, maybe you take some time and not answer her, because actually I don't need to hear the answer so much.
Mhm.
Then you feel the need to answer me. It was like I just want to kind of chat and get to know her. And even if you ask me, it's like I could internally not or not. So, but you will never find out if you answer for the child. And so everything else was done for the child. It's kind of served on a golden tray. And so if I asked, as I asked something, the mother was immediately doing it. It's like leaving no space. We here again with the word space, leaving no space for the child to develop an own will, an own idea of how to achieve things. So at one point I was asking the girl, do you see, kind of like we have in Germany a nice play, do you see, I see something, and that what you don't see, and that is red. And then you can see, look around the room, what is she meaning? And there were books in the room and things, but what's one prominent thing that caught my eye through the very limited screen view was a red washing a laundry basket that was standing in the room. And so I see something that is red and it stands in this room. What is it? And then really she had a very short peek, just like, oh, I know what you mean, but didn't expect much importance to it. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I know what you mean, but you're not expecting me to see it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it was kind of this stunning little moment that we both knew she saw it, and we both knew it's not that important. So that was interesting. And for the mom, of course, it was like, oh, she sees colors. It was a surprising moment. And she appreciated the moment, of course, also. And so went forward. So do you want to go to the basket and see if there's some maybe some red tights in it, or some red, I don't know, a sock you might find. And then she really went inside and she emptied the basket completely and she found something red and held it. And held in her hand. It was like, well, you found something red. And then she became kind of like not interested so much anymore. Like when I made an attempt to search for more green or blue things, she went away from that basket and looked for other things in the room. And so it's like, oh, well, she's pretty fast even. She's losing her interest quite quickly. And so I kept up with doing different things in a more fast way, and then slow down again. So that was kind of like the end of the lesson, the first lesson again. And so it developed quite well that the child could see and do much more than the mother was expecting her. And the mother is now leaving her much more space and waits for her and waits for different ways of how she can express it. And so
awesome.
That's the beginning of a new
journey.
era. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Perfect story.
I love it. Yeah, it's like the space,
Thank you.
again, the space in the relationship. It's a beautiful example of that.
Yeah.
And time, also allowing time and there to be space in terms of time and how we're responding.
Yeah. So as Maddie said in the beginning, we are actually really excited and really proud of actually launching this project. So it's more than a project, our center, the moving center. And this is something that was cooked on a small stove for a long time. We all, some of us actually work together in some places around the globe. We're all very experienced practitioners, both in Feldenkrais method, awareness to movement and functional integration, and with the Anat Baniel method, the neuro movement. And we, at this COVID time, we're actually launching now the first online workshop for parents and caregivers and children. But later on, we would want to do what we used to do up till now, is coming in person and help you organize it as parents or professionals, and we can come to your area. And now we're launching the first online session, which will gonna occur when, Matty and Andrea? Is it going to be the 20th?
To the 22nd November.
Of November for 3 days, which we will explore more with the parents the possibilities of how to create the space in which you and your child can thrive and go beyond your challenges and beyond the limitations. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Open your horizon, and not only space, but it's like open your horizon of what could be if you had a little guidance and people from outside that are experienced, and look over your shoulder and just be part of your family life for half hour or whatever. How long the chats are not too long, and so they won't exhaust you. So they would just be in a way that everybody could follow and learn step by step.
Fabulous. So thanks so much for checking out this introduction to that workshop, and also this first in the series of what we hope to offer to parents and practitioners.
Bedtime stories for parents and families.
Yes.
Bedtime stories. Yeah. So we look forward to meeting you. We look forward to those of you who can come to the workshop on November 20th through the 22nd. And if you can't come to that, we look forward to hearing from you and meeting you at another time. Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.